Before we get into the video, just a quick reminder for those of you that may not have seen it, Sim Racing Studio are doing a giveaway at the moment, one of their Power Win kits. Details for that will be in the description below. Entry is free and you can win yourself a Power Win kit delivered straight to your door. Yeah, so it seems there's some good news for console sim racers. Not Mega Drive console sim racers, but this was the nearest console I had to hand, so I thought I'd use that in the thumbnail, because why not? I don't actually have a modern games console. I don't have a PlayStation 4 or 5. I don't have an Xbox One or an Xbox Series console. I have lots of retro consoles. But anyway, so I can't actually test what we're going to talk about today, which is a bit of a shame, because when I recommend something, I want to have obviously tested it myself. So this is more of a for your information type video than something I can recommend, because I haven't tried it yet. But one of the problems console sim racers have is, where do you get a bloody handbrake from without sort of taking apart your G920 or G29, you know, and hardwiring something in parallel with one of the existing buttons? There isn't anything off the shelf aside from the Fanatic setup, which allows you to plug a Fanatic handbrake into either the pedals or the wheelbase. I can't remember which it is. That works. I'm not sure if the Thrustmaster one, because you can get the Thrustmaster sequential shifter that doubles up as a handbrake. I don't know whether that works on console. Again, I don't have consoles, so I'm speculating. But what I stumbled across here on YouTube the other day, and I'll link to the guy's video, was just a couple of minute long video of someone that's bought one of those cheapo handbrakes that we tested here on the channel a few weeks ago that turned out to be pretty decent for 50 notes. He was using one of those in conjunction with a G920 or G29, depending whether you're on Xbox or PlayStation. And the way it works is that you plug the handbrake into your console, and then your G920 or G29 into the handbrake. The handbrake has another USB port on it. And there's a little button on there, and it allows you to basically map the handbrake to be either A, B, X or Y, in place of what would be a handbrake button for console users. Now there's two different variations of this, one for the PS4, one for the Xbox One. They're not interchangeable, and neither of them will work on PC. So they are for console only. Now they're on Amazon, so I'm going to put a link to each one in the description, and I'll put a picture. In fact, let's bring the picture up on the screen for you now. So yeah, it looks exactly like the one I had before. It even comes with the optional table clamp that mine didn't come with because it was a bit cheaper without it. But we know this handbrake works. I've actually played around with some upgraded springs, which I'll have a video on as well. I may already have put that up, I don't know yet, depending on the timing. But from the other guy's video that I see, it seems to work just fine. So obviously this can only be used with the Logitech G920 on Xbox or G29 on PlayStation. It doesn't work with, you know, Thrustmaster wheels or anything like that, because you have to plug your Logitech based wheel into the handbrake. So the price is about £150. Now, the handbrakes themselves are only 50 notes, so there's another £100, so it isn't a cheap option here. And it's just going to be about whether you really want a handbrake or not, whether you play things like, you know, Dirt Rally, for example, where you need a handbrake, or whether you don't, because it isn't cheap. You know, for £150, you're getting towards Thrustmaster and Fanatic money for something that isn't anywhere near the quality. But unfortunately, when you're on console, if you've got a G920 or G29 setup, you can't use the Fanatic or Thrustmaster ones anyway, so this may well be your only choice. And the other thing is, this also bolts straight onto a Playseat Challenge, literally in like 2 minutes, using a couple of U-bolts. So it's a pretty decent little handbrake. I mean, obviously, it looks to me like one guy has designed like a little custom board and an interface to allow this to work. So if that is the case, fair play to the guy, and he's probably, you know, having them assemble them himself and doing all the work. So maybe that extra £100 is more justified you know, when we think about the time perhaps he's going to have to put into it. But as I say, I can't test these because I don't have any consoles except ones from the 80s and 90s. But I thought it's worth sharing with everyone because one of the most common questions I got on my video where I reviewed this Handbrake was, does it work on Xbox? Does it work on PlayStation, or is it PC only? And obviously at the time I had to say it's PC only. So for people that want to take a punt on these, because I can't test them again, I'll say that, the links are in the description. The price is a little strong, but if you need one, you need one. And it looks to me like that they work just fine. So yeah, I thought I'd just, you know, share that with everyone out there who's on console, because the leap up to PC obviously can be expensive if you want to build a whole new PC from scratch. And if you've already got your Xbox or your PlayStation and you've got your games and you're dying for a bloody Handbrake to strap to your PlayStation Challenge or your table or whatever else you race on, here is an option, albeit a touch expensive. So yeah, I thought I'd just share that. As always, thank you very much for watching and take it easy.